So as I said before, the Buddha's teachings are meant to help us to treat all of our experiences, irregardless of the pleasant or unpleasant or neutral experiences, is just simply a part of our awareness. Right? I said he didn't say don't feel these things, but just know that we are feeling them. And in one of the more famous suttas by the Buddha, he said, it's the Satipatthana Sutta, he said, one knows a mind with lust as a mind with lust, a mind with aversion as a mind with aversion, a contracted mind as a contracted mind, a distracted mind as a distracted mind. And this knowing is really a rather radical concept for us. Instead of identifying with the emotions, saying, I am angry, I am afraid, just learning to notice them, right? So rather than the I am, saying, anger is present, fear is present. And just that small shift in the relationship with our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions can open up a huge pathway to freedom. So what is an emotion? Right? It's not just a thought. It's not just a story. It's a whole body experience, right? The sensations in the body, maybe feeling some energy movement within the body. Certainly images and thoughts, of course, as well as even an impulse to act. So where do we feel it, right? Anger, maybe a tightness in the chest. Fear, maybe residing in the belly. Maybe some shallow breathing. Maybe images of the future. So mindfulness really invites us to meet these emotions at the level of a direct experience, not just the mental commentary. Thich Nhat Hanh says, feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. To me, that's just an amazing imagery. Within Buddhist vernacular, if we are awareness, it's often the imagery of that is the clear blue sky. It's always there. And these emotions, these thoughts, whatever perceptions we're having, are nothing more than clouds in that clear blue sky. And yeah, sometimes it's a torrential downpour and you can't see the clear blue sky. Yet, we know intellectually that on the other side of those clouds is the clear blue sky. So can we simply become that sky, knowing that these are just clouds coming through our experience? Thich Nhat Hanh talks about the sky does not become the clouds, and awareness does not become the emotion. Right? These emotions appear within the awareness. So really the first step in mindfully engaging with our emotions is, ask yourself, can I notice what is here? Right? Without trying to fix it, judge it, or even get rid of it. And all of those things are habitual tendencies. Can we just be with what is here? The issue, the problem, I guess, is not the emotion itself. Right? If we can't control it, how can it be the problem? The problem comes in with the clinging to those pleasant emotions, or the pushing away of the more unpleasant emotions, and the identification that these are mine, I own them, which is simply untrue. So the Buddha taught, that suffering doesn't come from having the emotions. It comes from how we relate to these emotions. Pema Chodron, if you've never read a book of hers or watched a Dharma talk of hers, I encourage that, because she has a way with words. And this is one that really irked me the wrong way the first time I heard it. It was many years ago. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Fact. Right? I shouldn't feel this. I'll always feel this. This means something is wrong with me. These are these internal storylines that we tell ourselves that turn these naturally occurring emotions into our enemy because of that identification of them as being us. And emotions are not moral failings. They're conditioned responses to causes and conditions. Right? Absolutely everything we experience is a cause from causes and conditions. Past experiences, our nervous system responses, unmet needs, old conditioning, the computer, the microphone, the cushions you're sitting on. It's all here because of causes and conditions. And our emotions are no different. So, knowing that, our anger arises due to causes. So does our fear. So does our joy. So does our grief. So if we can take this from here to here, maybe we can stop blaming ourselves for having them and start to understand them. So how do we get there? Of course, this compassionate awareness, right? And there's maybe, say, 3 levels to processing it out, okay? The first one is simply naming the emotion. So allowing it, seeing it for what it is, and saying, anger is here, sadness is here, grief is here, whatever it is, joy is here. Right? We shouldn't, we tend to look at emotions as the negative side, but clinging to the joyful emotions is just as dangerous. Jack Kornfield, one of my favorite American teachers, says, if you could name it, you can tame it. He also says, and one of my favorite that I use all the time is, hello, old friend. Right? If you're somebody prone to anxiety, feeling coming up, instead of pushing it away or shaming ourselves for having it, say, oh, hello, old friend. There you are. It's been a minute. And you sit with it, you watch it, and then you move into step 2, which is feeling it in the body. Okay? Where do I feel whatever this emotion is right now? All right? What's its texture? Is it heavy? Is it tight? Is it warm? Is it vibrating? Really labeling that physical sensation of the emotion. And trust me, every emotion has a physical sensation to it. So instead of thinking about, I'm angry, and perpetuating that storyline, feel the chest being tight. Right? And if we're feeling it in the body, what are we not doing? We're not thinking about it. We can't do both at the same time. We can't think about two things at once. Seems like it sometimes because it happens quick. That's where that practice, right? Keep coming back without judgment. That's where this comes into play, right? So we're feeling that physical feeling, maybe tightness, and then, oh, yeah, that's because they've been a minute. Back to that physical feeling. Ajahn Chah, well-known forest monk, says, if you feel angry, just know, anger. If you feel sad, just know, sadness. Don't become it. All right, so we've named it. We've physically felt it. Now, we're going to allow it. Allowing does not mean indulging. It just means not fighting the reality of the present moment. Doesn't mean we like it. That's okay. But we say, kind of that hello old friend, or, it's okay to be here right now. Right? That allowing is one of the bravest things that we can do for ourselves. So habitually trained to distract, to push, to change course. What happens is, one, we're not dealing with it in any shape or form. But we're also, when we perpetuate that story, that's when it stays. Right? Driving down the road, somebody cuts you off, all of a sudden, your chest gets tight, you're pissed, you're driving, right? And you're like, what chance does it have to let go? None. Because you're not letting it. Okay. Loosen the grip on the wheel. Not let go. Loosen the grip on the wheel, but let go of the thoughts and bring that to the physical sensation of the body. Where do I feel that? And allow that tightness. And I guarantee you that tightness will dissipate. If you keep thinking about it, chances are it's going to stick with you for a little bit. So as I said, Pema Chodron said these lessons will stick around until they teach us what we need to know. And really, emotions are our teachers, right? Some of them feel noble. Maybe, the joys, the love, the gratitudes, uplifting sensations, right? Others, not so much. Maybe a little dangerous or shameful or, fear, rage, grief. Equally as valid. And the Buddha is so skillfully in labeling everything. He never used the terms good or bad. Right? He divided them into wholesome and unwholesome. The unwholesome ways would be ways, the emotions that are driven by greed, hatred, delusion. And then the other side, the wholesome, are the ones rooted in compassion and wisdom. So again, we're not here to suppress, we're here to study. Right? And what do we look for? Well, anger. Anger can teach us about boundaries. Fear can teach us about vulnerability. Grief, about love. Yesterday I was on my way to somewhere I haven't been in several years, expecting to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in many years. And on my way there, I just, I got this funniness in my belly, and it was fear. I was just really consumed with what's going to happen. What if they don't remember me? What if they didn't like me? All these stories that go in the head. But I was able to feel it first. Right? And that's the funny thing about these focusing on the physical sensation is the physical body will send us an alert before the mind will. So the more we can pay attention to the body, we can cut it off at the pass, so to speak. Feel it before it gets here, and then just let it dissipate. It's going to get there. It's going to. But it doesn't have to be as strong because we're already aware. Again, Thich Nhat Hanh said, taking care of your anger is not suppressing it. It's learning how to breathe with it, to smile to it, and to look deeply into it. Right? So again, we're not trying to get rid of anything. We're just trying to understand. And we do this through the lens of compassion. Okay. Mindfulness alone can sometimes feel a little distant, a little harsh. But when we add compassion, that kind of softens our practice a little bit. So when we feel that difficult emotion, we ask ourselves, right? Can I be kind with this? Especially when we're feeling that fear or shame, sadness. It's there. So why can't we just be kinder to ourselves? Pema Chodron again said, compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. So when emotions such as sadness comes up, we don't say go away. We all know that's not going to do anything. But we say, this hurts. And I'm here with you. This is inner friendship. This is inner reparenting. The Buddha described this as metta, or loving kindness, towards oneself. He said, just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, so one should cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings. You, I, we all are included in that all beings. And sometimes we can forget that. And remembering that, these emotions, they're not commands. You can feel something without acting on it. You can feel anger without speaking harshly. You can feel fear and still walk into that room. You can feel desire without actually grabbing it. And this is where that freedom lies, right? It's between that stimulus and response. That power to choose. And it's that mindfulness that creates that space. And as I touched on earlier, every emotion has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything in life is impermanent. One of the great lessons of the Buddha. He said, all conditioned things are impermanent. And remember, he said that our emotions are conditioned experiences. A good example of that was while we were meditating. I'm sure everybody heard the man shoveling out there, right? And you had thoughts, emotions, and feelings about that, right? That's the conditioned response, right? That's the cause and effect of that emotion, that feeling, that thought. Right? That's why I love practicing in a space that's not that quiet. Because these are our opportunities to see the causes and conditions of everything that goes on between our two ears. And yet it passed, right? He stopped. The thoughts stopped. The sound stopped. Now the birds are chirping. See, there's something else to piss me off, right? But that's the funny thing, though, right? About the emotions is, the shoveling of the snow. Oh my God, that was so distracting. The birds chirping. Oh, that's so nice. What's the difference? What's the difference? Nothing. The difference is our perceptions, our thoughts. They're just sounds. So as we watch these emotions arise and pass, maybe we can stop believing these stories. Right? This will never change. And maybe we can start to begin to trust the fact that, yes, this will change. This will pass. So how do we take this, as they say, off the cushion into our daily life? As I alluded to earlier, we know irritation is going to arrive while we're driving. Anxiety is going to arise, maybe in a meeting or something. Grief is going to arise, perhaps in a quiet moment. Can we silently note to ourselves, feelings, anger, fear, grief. And then where do I feel it? Right? Where is it in the body? Can I breathe into it and soften around it? Can I meet this moment with kindness and compassion? And that's how it becomes, part of our life. Not by pushing it away, not by grasping it, by touching it very gently. Another great Pema Chodron quote, touch and release. Right, just label it and let it go. Let it do its thing. Whatever it's here to teach us. Don't add the stories. At least be aware of adding the stories. And let it go. I think if these teachings had one label it, bring it down. Somebody said, bring it down to just a few words, right? All the Buddha's teachings. Just let it go. Just let it go. All right, well, let's take a deep breath, collect ourselves, and let's do a guided meditation. And again, for this, there is nothing special that you need to do. Just sit. Be aware. Put in some effort to be here now. Just take a few slow, deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Again. One more. Now allow your breath to return normal. Nobody control it. Just feel it. Bring your awareness to the body as it's sitting right now. Maybe noticing the contact points on the chair or the floor. Feeling the weight of your body as it's being held. See if you can drop your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe soften the jaw. Let's begin by just resting our awareness on the breath. Feeling the physical sensation in the body. Breathing in, just breathing in. Breathing out, just breathing out. Now gently expand your awareness to include your emotional states. There's no need to look for anything in particular. Just simply notice what's already here. You might ask yourself quietly, what emotion is present right now? Or what is the tone of my heart in this moment? Whatever you find is okay. Maybe you notice calm, restlessness, maybe some sadness or anxiety. Perhaps nothing clearly defined. If an emotion is present, can you touch it gently by naming it? Perhaps sadness, contentment, uncertainty. Just let the naming be gentle, not judging, simply knowing. And now bring your awareness back into the body. See where you can feel this emotion. Again, perhaps in the chest, maybe the belly, maybe in the throat or the face. And allow yourself to feel the emotion as sensation rather than a story. All right, does it feel tight or loose, warm or cool, heavy or light, perhaps moving or still? Not here to analyze, just feel. If an emotion feels intense, out of kindness, return to the breath for a few cycles. And then when you're ready, gently come back to the body where the feeling lives. Now we begin to practice allowing. So perhaps you can say to yourself, this is here right now. Or it's okay for this to be here. You're not saying you like it. You're not suggesting it should stay. But this is what is in the present moment. So allow whatever the emotion to be held in awareness, the way the sky holds a cloud. And you are not the cloud. You are the space around it. You are awareness. If your mind starts to tell a story about why this feeling is here or how long it will last, again, gently return to the body, back to the sensation, or even back to the breath. And now we'll invite compassion into our practice. If it feels supportive, you place a hand on your heart or belly and silently offer yourself a few kind phrases. Maybe, may I be gentle with this? May I meet this with kindness? May I hold this with care? Allow the tone to be warm, not forced. If your emotion is difficult, notice that it is a form of suffering, and suffering deserves care, not criticism. And rest in this balance of awareness and kindness, feeling what is here, without pushing it away, without clinging to it. ask yourself, has this emotion stayed the same? Or does it shift, even slightly? Maybe you notice a pulsing, a softening, maybe a tightening or a fading. Whatever happens, just know it. Label it changing, changing, changing. For this is the nature of our emotions. They arise, they move, and they pass. Now, for the last few minutes of the guided practice, let go of working with any specific emotions. And I invite you to return to just open, spacious awareness. The breath, body, feelings, sounds, all of our sensations. And rest is the one who knows experience rather than the one inside the experience. If an emotion arises, know it. If no strong emotion is present, know that too. I invite you to reflect gently. Emotions are visitors, not who I am. I can feel without being lost. I can care without being consumed. Again, emotions are visitors, not who I am. I can feel without being lost. And I can care without being consumed. Slowly bring your awareness back to your body as a whole. Feeling your breath, feeling your hands, your feet, your seat. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes.